Morning, traders. Just let me know if you can hear me. Am I coming through it? Yep, I should be coming through there. Checking all the bits and pieces. Seem to be live there. And I think I'm live there. All right. So, really what I'm trying to do is figure out which way this market's going. So I've had a nibble at the, I got short in here, stopped above, and then it dumped. And then I got short in here, it was coming down, and it's just stopped me out again. So having a bit of a bad run on these shorts. It seems to be that even on the SPY, I was short in here, and I was short in here, held, stopped, done. So bit of a rough day so far. There's not much. I mean, this is absolute. It's a choppy mess again, and the markets seem to be, for some reason, it's by the room sell effect. I think. I mean, with the SPY, we've got so 11:30. There's some trade balance data out today, and then we've got. Let me just go up here. Just 1 second. Intraday Trading. There we go. Hey, Bobby. So we've got trade balance data out at 11:30 in our market, but this Dow, I still think that it wants to go down, but it's just a tough one to trade when it's doing that. It's just choppy. So I mean, this could a bit of a grind, flush, bounce, hard bounce. Another, it seems to be getting buoyed. So you'd want to short it through here, through 01, but look at that strength that keeps coming in. Does it look like a buy? I mean, the MAs are still up. The 20 to 50, it's not closing above. Just watching it now. I actually don't think it knows what it's doing. It's just, let's just see if it holds. Sorry, just watching that at the moment. Anyone got anything on to get started with? I'm not sure now. I'm not sure if the Hang Seng is open or not. To be honest, I thought it was closed yesterday, and I noticed that I think it kicked off at 3. No, it didn't. It kicked off at the normal time, so it might be open at about 12 today. So we've got some time to watch just this Dow, see what the Dow's going to do. Nikkei opened up, flushed, and it's gone down. Our market's surprisingly weak. I thought it was going to be more of a flush down and then bounce, but we're giving up. It looks like I'll give or take. This market just picks a direction. It's just flushing constantly, so it's hard to trade it because of the price action on the SPY anyway lately. So I think I'm sticking to the Dow today. I don't really have any inclination to jump back in here. I was long here and it didn't go anyway. Just off the open, I thought we were flush pop, and then it was giving me something, and then I stopped myself out. I think I went. I don't know if I went short again or long. Anyway, so I've made a couple of trades on the SPY. I think net I'm down on it, and I just got done on the Dow on some small size. So yeah, I don't know. What I'm seeing is the Dow pops up and the SPY goes down and vice versa. I wouldn't be surprised if they're hedging into our market. Why we rallied that hard yesterday was kind of a surprise. And you've got energy, which is down a couple of nights before that. We open and energy sector rallies. And then crude bounces back. So whether it's just buying it looking for weakness, um, looking for some strength and back into oil, and it's a bit of a bargain hunting, which is why maybe it bounced yesterday. So what's it actually doing today? Energy is, yes, it's up again today, nearly 2%. So it's not bad. Gold's doing okay. We were expecting to be up 30 points or so today, and we're down. We're down 13. So it's probably got more to do. Interest rates at 2:30, trade balance at 11:30 in 20 minutes. Yeah, so a bit of argy-bargy in this market at the moment. I think it's just flushing people in yesterday and then squeezing them out as they lock away some gains. Whereas I think the US is just strong. I mean, so if we were following tech, um, US tech SPY, we shouldn't have been up yesterday because I think US tech was down the session before on Friday. So, and they bounced back last night and we're down. We're more like we're front running them. Which, I mean, how on earth are we meant to know what the market's doing and be consistently right? What the US is going to do. So just watching this. Dow's maybe make another charge up. So we'll see if they can break, and have a bit of a thrust up into that high O2 or so. Again, it's not looking convincing either way. That's not bad action, but we could still get this grind. Let's just put it. So I think it's just going to have a bit of a poke up, but we'll see. Yeah, if we got a bit of a faction spike hard, that'd be nice. Sorry, I just got long that break up through here. So I want to see if it can go. So I'm not alerting because this is it's a messy action, but more scalping than anything else. So I just want to see if that can get a bit of a run, but even now it's struggling. But if you're going to be anything on the Dow, you probably want to be long. I thought that was going to roll, but after seeing this high low, we should, with all intents and purposes, we should get something to pop up. But it doesn't. Whether we're going to get through these highs is a different story. So it might sucker it in a few, looks long, and then dumps. So it's still this raging chop that we've seen the last however many sessions. We take it this low, which very well looks like we're going to actually. Anyone else got anything on or? Hmm. Yeah, look, this whole market has got some chop to it. I mean, like what was it, Friday, where you got that run down, and that was a bit of a trend move. That caught everyone off guard, and didn't expect it. And if you're watching it, you're sort of shorting against the flow. It worked out okay. Um, you would have had to have been shorty against the flow of the market, anticipating, just guessing that something's going to, as it turned out, yeah, Trump and COVID. And then all of a sudden everyone's worried about COVID and it does nothing but go up since. So it's that catch you off guard and then flush back up again. So that's the biggest problem. Is just the chop is inherent in the market at the moment. I'm trying to give this just room, but if we're rangy, that'll probably pull back off that. It'll just want to flush someone and then it looks like it wants to pop, but that action's not so. What am I doing here? I'll just draw this all back up again. Just taking it high, and now we're doing 0. So I'm wondering if the Hang Seng, does anyone know, like I said, will it be open? I'm pretty sure it could be around 12:15 till 3. But yeah, we'll see. Just needs to pop. So what have we got in today? Make sure I'm all going through good. I think everything's okay. Sorry if there's any questions. I probably no me. I miss them. Right, so now we're going to grind down. Yeah, I don't know much about the budget. I don't really follow the economics. You ask my brother, he'd know everything. So my brother's what when I got into the markets he was in, and with my father, and he loves his economics. He's liberal. He knows everything about it. Yeah, I see that, Lauren. It's waking up a bit, isn't it? Yeah, kids back at school, mate. All right, now you would think we get some sort of pop up to this high, but so Nikkei's sort of seems to want to bounce off those lows. So that's the move I was looking at. That's annoying. So I was actually short before. I think I just told you on Dow, and I reckon I got stopped to the point. And then it dropped just before we got this. It was this drop, was it? Yeah, I think I was short in here. Watch this, sat, held, and I went away and I come back up and stop up here. I reckon it got done right there. And then 2 minutes later, so my luck is pretty much off today. So don't follow anything I'm doing. Here we go. It's got to get up. If, there's support, well, not supporting it, but they're trying to stop it. Um, so we're holding this MA, but it seems to be flattening, which is not a good sign. You know, if it spike up, it might expand. No, as I say that. Yep. So I cut it. Could be the wrong thing, but I cut it because we seem to be rangy again. We're not going to pick a direction. It doesn't look like we want to. Um, might be forced to have to get back in again if that pops. They're really sitting on top of it for whatever reason. The Dow doesn't normally do this. They don't normally sit on top of it. All right, I've gone long again. Let's see if they can pop. Just my luck on it. Oh. Fair enough. I think it's better to follow God if you can get some sort of leg up. Look at that flush. It looks like I don't know whether they're setting you up or it wants to go, what it wants to do at the moment. But we're still holding above the MA. It's just not expanding. Every time it's popping up, it's getting knocked down. So I mean, I thought that was going to get knocked down and pop. So maybe we should try to hold this one. Where are we? So that again, it's see them fighting off it. They're really that looks like it wants to pop. But on the flip side, someone's also holding it down. I think it's just washing people, probably like myself. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. So I haven't really gone over any of the Hang Seng stuff because I've got a bit of time. Okay. I don't know if this can ramp again, but hesitation now is going to get caught in the flush. We're going back to this ranging. We're probably going to head all the way back down to here. No, no one's leaning on it now. That's SPY. So US dollars, oh, it's down. Okay, I think they're just gonna. No, done. So there's only a small stop on that one, and it didn't work out. So not having the world's best day so far. I'm out now, Lawrence. Sorry, I don't have a big stop on these because I'm looking for certain action at certain times. That I thought would have held off this end, which it was, and then it kept creeping down. So the problem is at the moment we're on that move down. So what am I on? I'm on a 1 minute chart. Probably should have a 5 just to show you. It might be a bit cleaner. So we could just keep rolling. I mean, we could be just that we're stuck in this action here, backing off here, but I do think it's going to break up. Um, and it might be we're just sitting around waiting for that Hang Seng. So we could have another hour. And I think if you think it's going up at the moment, sell it. You think it's going down, buy it. So it's one of those funny things. But I think look at this action through here. It's still flicking above and below. And so we've discussed we want to be above. So maybe just got to really focus more on this 5 minute chart and realizing that okay, we popped above, but the MAs are really flat. We sort of want, I really want to break out and then a pull back to hold these MAs. Something like this, we've had this pop up, we pull back, we held, and then we rallied um, just after the flush. But I thought this might have been it. I thought we might have popped up here and then gone. Looking at the 1 minute because it was still holding, but it just didn't give me anything. So I'll just keep an eye on it. Maybe 5 points SPY 250. Yep, no, I'm doing exactly the same, Jace. Yeah, I think it's just Hang Seng based, and I don't think that's sort of the key market at this time. And the market's happy to chop around. I mean, that there would have that's just a flush. That flush just to take out this low, and then we bounce back and we brought in a few more sellers like myself, thinking that was going to be a lower high, but instead we've held this higher low. Okay, higher low leads to higher prices. You break through this high and straight back down again. So that is just choppy action that's sort of put together really just to flush people in and out, in and out. Chop around, which is and then when it goes, you just really got to sit and wait and be ready, I guess. Are we going to get some more of this action? Um, that thump down, which and then grind up, which we could do. So it's probably more that you want to buy this break. You know, if we can hold in here and we start to lift, it could be just that break that we're looking for. But again, it's 25, or no, it's probably a bit longer than that. Um, can you whack up a chart, Helen? I don't actually have. I don't know if we do pivots on this. I've never really taken too much notice of them. Got the yen heading south, which is more, safe haven. Don't think they're buying that. The US dollar is heading south. So it's more a US dollar move. Yeah. All right. Let's just I don't want to be fluffed into another one. So here we are. We're probably just going to pop down to this little support. We might just flush. Now what was I want to look at? So we'll look at Hang Seng. I'm pretty sure that Hang Seng wasn't open. Look, it was. So that's yesterday, wasn't it? So I don't know why it was closed Thursday, Friday. It actually opened yesterday, even though it was a bank holiday, Chinese bank holiday. I know it's probably in Hong Kong, but yeah, it's opened up, chopped around, didn't do anything much. Potentially, we got room to let's go to the 30-minute chart, 2 hour chart. Actually, so it's gapped up. This is a 30-minute chart on the index, the physical index, and it's this sort of level that we're been looking at, and it's gapped up above that. Gave it up again, but basically finished at that level yesterday at 23. I don't know if you can all see that. That's not what I want to see. I'm coming through okay there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that doubt. Pop down. Our numbers are going to be out in a minute, so jobless and trade balance. So we've got this zone through here, which broke. So we could see that action, the days leading up to it, to that break, extended down here. It was kept getting held up, held up. Any sort of pop was led to some selling off, and then gap up, this sell off. It was just constantly trying to go, but it was getting soaked up. So I think just the negativity that people are getting caught by, selling into it and getting caught on the upside. And we gapped up, you know, opened up quite strong yesterday, and then obviously fell in a hole back down to that zone. So whether we're going to see, I would expect maybe we could get something on the upside again. We just wait and see. But the Hang Seng, like, is notorious for gapping lately anyway. It's been whippy up and down. But the fact that it's potentially broken that downtrend, there could be some buyers looking at it saying, okay, US is doing okay, globe is doing okay. It could be that it's just going to pop today. If not, we're looking for a push back down to sort of these. Let me just get my chart. Here we go. Maybe back down. We sort of another squeeze. We build another high low, and then we go after that. But yeah, just got to keep an eye on where it really opens. Just looking at this, where are we? So that's one Hang Seng. Wrong one. So that's the index we're just talking about. Seeing if this level is going to be something that comes into play again, or this zone where it can pop up. We'll go down to the 5. I just want to see where it closed. Just watching that Dow as well. Don't look like they're interested in it again. I want to see a squeeze in the sellers now. So that's sort of what I'm aiming at. No, still heading south, eh? All right. So I'll just look at the Dow quickly, just while it's there. That 5 is just down in that zone still. So, there is this inside level, which I don't believe that's going to come into play too much. I mean, it could. I'd be surprised if this breaks straight down, but I mean, the way the markets are, you don't be surprised at anything at the moment. So this reaction off here, we drove back up. Now we're heading south. Whether this starts to get rejected back in this zone, pretty much where it is at the moment. I mean, if it doesn't, yeah, it could just start to roll from here. So I want to see if that can. I mean, the biggest problem now, we've seen how it's extended down. It's sort of like tipping over, and it could bounce back, but still hold this trend down. What I was looking for, what I was hoping for, was really this a flush back up. I thought it might start to chop around, and then we could flush back up and see if we can take out this zone. I think, apart from that, just that action now, we could be getting something like this, and just see if we can drive back up. The Dow seems notorious, like it wants to. I think the Dow index itself. Oh, look at that. Might just take note of that low. All right. So longer term, it's still in an uptrend. It's just, what is it going to do? It's going to flush. It's going to rally. We still haven't got that breakout, that break, and the high low to work off. Everything's still down. Japan, look at that. Japan's taking a nosedive. What are our numbers just coming in at? Trade balance less than expected, and the job adverts up 7.8%. I don't know how much you can rely on that. Okay. Yep, so it doesn't look like we've reacted a hell of a lot. All right, so this is back to the index. Let's just get onto that. 655. Okay, so what does it close at? 7, 6. Yeah, that's right. So an hour after. So it was closing at 6. It's closing at 6 o'clock normally, so that changed an hour with us. I don't know if they change a bit later on. I think Europe's is an hour difference now. So we used to close at 6 in the morning in the US. Now it's 7. I think it goes to 8 when they change the daylight savings. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure when that is for them, but so we've got what's the time? 6:55. So we're down here. So from here, this market's rallied quite a bit. So probably should be. Let's just see. So 23.70 give or take, 130 points, 140 points from was that 8, 9, 900. So you'd expect, for all intents and purposes, somewhere around what I say 9. The index to open somewhere up here, which if if it does jam up, and then we could get another flush lower. So that's what I'm more just looking at, more concerned about. So where's the Hang Seng futures? Let me just get that. So what do I want it from? So what did that close? I think it's at 6. The futures close. So I'm just going to go back and forward, get my times right now. At 6 a.m. So at 6 a.m., yeah, we're here. So we're slightly higher from the 6 o'clock close as well. So if the Hang Seng, you don't want to read too much into this. It's more on the CFD. So now it's sort of going off the Dow. The Dow's down. It's grinding around. It's chopping around. What you'd want to do is more look at it, say 12 o'clock to 12:15. I think is when the pre-open on the Hang Seng. If this starts to pop up, you know that the pre-open is going to be a bit stronger than where the close was, which would mean that the index 15 minutes later is probably going to open up quite a bit, up to 200 points up, which for me, that gap up, I would expect potentially to get sold into again. We'll have to wait and see. So that's another 20 or so minutes. So it's not, for now, it's probably not a lot happening. The SPY hasn't really reacted, so I think they're still waiting around for that 2:30 meeting. Nikkei, I don't think anyone's watching Nikkei too much. A bit of a bounce here. Let's see if that Dow can pop up. It's a bit of negative action though on the Dow. it's still, look, it's probably going to extend down to here, so unless we get smashed. So it's just flushed the stops, and it could keep going. Okay, so what? Just beware there's no news. This looks a bit weaker than what you would expect. Just a longer term uptrend seems to be broken, so we'll just keep an eye on this, see if we can pop, or we're just going to take out this low and then bounce straight back again. Maybe the yen's finding a bit of a safe haven bid. US yen's down. Everything's taken a bit of a hit, hasn't it? So that action there, I mean, that's just a tough one to trade because you're against the trend here, then you've come down and broken the inside support to this uptrend. So that's sort of the anchor to that uptrend. So you've broken that. Are we going to flush it? Are we bouncing back? Uh, what are we going to do from here? So this is where you can easily get trapped on the short side because that's kind of an expansion into that level. Don't want to trade short here. SPY, I'm not going near it. There's an each way bet on the SPY, and the Dow, I'm more leaning towards, if we chop around here, that little expansion down, considering we've broken that uptrend, just have to keep an eye on it. It's not going to have a secondary wave down. But again, that's dropped from, what's here, 120, it's 20, 30 points. Or is this just going to be another flush? Hey guys, we could be looking down to double O pretty quickly. It'd be nice if that was news driven, but it doesn't seem to be news driven. So if we hover around here, it looks like we're grinding back up. So you don't want this to kick up too high. You sort of want it to stick at MAs and start to chop around here and then potentially have another leg down. So you look at this There's a big zone up here. We've tested it a couple of times. We flushed it. Now we just flushed through these lows. So the market's kind of stalling. If it's going to stall for too long, there could be a secondary leg. But I keep thinking in the back of my head, stimulus, stimulus, stimulus. Keep that ball rolling. So I'm a bit reluctant to be shorting that, even though you get a bit of a roll. You haven't got the 20 below, have you? No. So the 20 and the 50, 20 is still, or 20 EMA is still above the 50 on the 5. About where, this is the 8 I've got now, or the hull, it seems to be holding down. So if we can if we sit around here and we have another candle, which is going to be in a few minutes, don't want to see this get through this high, 95. You want to see that sort of a narrow candle, and if we expand back down through these lows at 82.80, it could be a push lower. So Nikkei's back to where it closed. So the Hang Seng. Okay, so the Dow's just popped. I think we're still sort of hanging around waiting for that Hang Seng. What's the ASX doing? Down 25. Wouldn't have expected that today. OPT. So that looks good, that little pop. Let's see if that can kick on. Back to small gains on that, and we're up on NEC, but the day itself is not too crash hot. We hold here. Let's finish some more coffee. Let's look at your line there, the small candle, small body candles give me the heebies. And then you sort of look for expansion, don't you? But still think that's pretty valid. See how it sort of expanded down, we popped, expanded, we popped. It could easily just go back up again, which is going to annoy a few people. So if you're shorting that, looking for continuation, it just gets back up, stops you out. So, we'll just keep an eye on. So the Hang Seng's bounced back. SPY, of course, is back up. So that SPY there, it's just flushing a level, flushed it again, flushed at the top. It seems to be constantly this sort of move here, straight back up, down, spike up, down. It just shows that there's a lack of volume in the SPY. Liquidity anyway. So if someone whacks through 20 contracts, which anyone, a lot of big boys can do, that's going to move the SPY when there's only a few on the offer or the bid. Any one time there could be 10. I mean, there used to be a lot more liquidity on the offer and bid. It seems to be there's not. I haven't looked at it for a while. I just know it's thinner than it normally is. Whereas the Dow's probably got more liquidity outside of ours than it does than the SPY does. But still, it can get bullied around easily. All right, so it looks like we're just going to hang around and wait for this Hang Seng. So I'd say that Hang Seng's still just following the Dow. So what are we now? About 50, 20 something points off that closing price, which means, oh, what are we now from here? Is it the right candle? Looks a bit strange. 5. It's a very strange candle, isn't it? Well, this is creeping up. It's not leaving me too much confidence that we're going to go back up again. It's not like we saw. Let's get that move. This move here just came out of the blue, so it's not news driven, that little spike down. It's more so this news just dumped, whereas the other one's sort of more, someone mucking around. The algos are playing, chasing it down, whether they're going to get a bit of a sell. There's enough juice on the upside that it could really roll. Let me just focus on that Hang Seng. Yeah, so that candle's a bit strange compared to the one that was on the CFD. CFD finished on its highs. But either way, we're say from 40, about, let's say 20 points higher, around the 60 mark. So we're sort of up at these highs. So whether that is the level that could hold, to suggest this open's going to be, well, it's going to be a bit lower. No, it shouldn't be, should it? Actually, don't even. I try to use the mouse. You can see the mouse on both sides. It's not that on the vertical axis on the Hang Seng. That's not where it is, because this level right down here. Oh, maybe it does match up. So I reckon it's just going to open up about here. Candles becoming tempting. But so ideally, I'm wondering if this is going to be a shoulder and we're going to roll, or we're just going to get more of this sort of stuff back up again. The only the difference is with this uptrend we've broken. So technically we've had some resistance held up here, held again, backed off, tried again, backed off. We tried again, and it's backed off even lower. So could be a lot of longs up there built holding that could get squeezed out. But again, we're probably just going to have to wait for that open. That 5 minute candle is going to close. So I'm thinking of going short through a break of 95. Probably not now. So it's hard to trade each individual like market or chart on its own merits. That's probably the harder thing, I think. So you look at it, that could roll. I mean, then we get a bit of a pop on the Hang Seng on the open, and that will probably pop as well. But there's times when it may not. It may just hold, and then the Hang Seng drops, and they both drop. You get hammered. Just bear with me a second. I just quickly mute. I just got to step out for a sec. Only be about a minute. And look at that pop. Okay, it looks like, see the Hang Seng, I think it's about to open. Oh, not open, sorry, but I think it's at 12 o'clock will be the pre-open. It seems to be that it wants to match, could be a bit higher. So that Dow, now that looking like it's going to roll, it's a bit of a squeeze up, so maybe that's off the cards. You see the MAs are, it's on the 5 minute, MAs are approaching that zero, so it's still, when it's above that zero line, I kind of look at it like, well, it's positive momentum, which is having a bit of a pullback. So if it stays above there, if it rolls through it um, like this, that's where you could probably expect that there's going to be a bit of a squeeze lower, but it just depends uptrend, downtrend. When the market's trending up, to how strong that move might be, but still got that bit of a pop there. So the Nikkei's just, sorry, the Nikkei, the yen's just jumped as well. It's not really good on the 5 minute chart. Not a big move, but all right. So I'm expecting. So this will open in 15 minutes in Hang Seng. I think it's sort of that 5 minutes, say 10 past, 11 past, it starts. You get closer to the pre-open to figure out what's the pre-open going to be, and the market will start chopping around. Little hair ties everywhere from a little girl. She doesn't like wearing them though. So still, Dow. I'd be interested if it actually does pop up from here, ram up through that high. Just because it's broken that trend, it's kind of like, yeah, algos will be watching that. So that's probably a trend line there. We'll just jam down, flush them, and then we'll jam straight back up again. So we'll see what this Hang Seng can do. Just flicking around. Yeah, look at that move. Who would have thought that was going to drift lower all day? So I think there's a lot of moves that are engineered to, just catch people off guard. Traps, So yesterday's action prior to a positive US dollar, I mean, we generally react to the US. We don't preempt them, meaning that generally, when the US is up, we're up. We sort of follow them. Whereas lately, and this is, I always get a bit sus, and just love my conspiracies. Lately, we've been preempting. We had a big move yesterday on the ASX after the US was, down on Friday night. They bounced back into the close a bit, I think. Except for the Nasdaq. Nasdaq wasn't look healthy at all. It sort of opened down, bounced, and then sold off again into the close. So they were down. We come in on Monday morning, bang, up we go. And then US is up. Dow was up 400 to 500 points last night, and we're down. Doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's been a constant move down. Like I said, it could be because of the numbers, or interest rates. But I don't think so. It's been happening quite a bit. Happens quite a bit. So it's kind of like, well, don't be too. You had a big down day today, and then the US is down a bit tonight. Don't be too bearish on the market the next day because it could easily just turn out and squeeze you back out the other way. And you'll see it on the SPY. I think you'll see that the SPY ramped up. Was it Friday night? It ramped up unusual when the markets were down. So we were down on Friday day, got hammered because of the Trump virus news. And then after that, it was pretty much all one way, just continually pushing higher on the SPY. When markets were down, they sort of went sideways. Markets were down, then the markets lifted, SPY lifted, the markets might have gone down, again, pulled back, SPY went sideways. So it's kind of like it was getting pressured up constantly. And it actually finished, I think, for the night session, finished on its highs in the SPY, which is kind of weird. And then, lo and behold, we open up and we have a big session yesterday. Yeah. Gruzy Brookers. It's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? It's just like, this is what makes me concerned with the markets at these levels. Is this Wall Street Dow going to hold it here? Or we're just going to thump high? I mean, that there, if you're a bull, you'd be looking at as bullish. Yet, I always these sorts of things happen. You're bullish, bullish, just catching people constantly. They're going to buy that break. I mean, like this one, I bought it. Thought that was going to pop, dumped. That's just setting those traps where that candle looks good and then straight back down again. I mean, that was rolling, probably in all fairness. With Hang Seng, so Hang Seng's hovering around here. So what's that? 87, another 40 points up. So it's going to be a bit of a ramp on the open. What do we say? Yeah, it's about here, isn't it? It flushed it high and might even start tagging these highs up here. 70. So might be that the future's going to open up, in this zone at least, which would mean that this index is going to be quite a bit higher, isn't it? Maybe at that 9, sort of up in that zone. And we're popping now on Dow, which is so we're just taking out there. There you go. What I'll do is delete that so it doesn't mess with my head. Just be seen to see if that index can give us anything. So again, that just looks like it's just trapping some shorts potentially. Push through that low. This one here, finished above. Pop back up. What's the Hang Seng at the moment? Still got the 5-7 minutes taken on the Hang Seng, but it's banging around the 80-90 mark. Just got the US dollar on another screen over here. Which is the oh, yeah, it stopped. Okay, no. So not much excitement, is there? I'm sure that'll kick off in a minute. The Dow's still edging higher, isn't it? Right back into that zone. Let's just get rid of that. Oh no. So it's just topped above that high, so there's a chance that there's a next candle. Candle's in a few more minutes, so just keep an eye on this candle. We just don't get that little pop and then drop. We finish below it. It could be that we start to head south again on. It's going to be a bit of a yo-yo effect. Let's just draw that in. Something like that there, flush down, and then we did it again and rallied all the way back up to high. So that's 86, nearly 100 points. What's that low? 80. Well, what's that? 60, 70 points, 70 points. Mass is not so good today. Nice. got a 1 minute chart of the Hang Seng in here somewhere. Let's get that. So I've got it. No, 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 I'm looking at Wall Street. What are they doing? All right, so Hang Seng will be closed. Just see what happens. So it's back up here, which is higher than the close. So the index, which opens in 15 minutes, is going to gap up. So it's just what we're going to flush on the Hang Seng, which you would expect some shopping around. It's going to open a couple of just a minute. Here we go. Heading south, are we? No. So I find this hard to think it's going to pop up to here. And the index is going to be pretty flushed at the moment. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. What's this? Dow's not looking too crash hot. $45. It's nearly 100 points above the close. So it's actually somewhere around here, is it? I say 45. So that because we're seeing the CFD price, this futures is lagging 15 minutes. It's actually somewhere in this zone at the moment, near these highs. Potentially, it's going to struggle up these highs, or what's it going to do? So maybe, which is up here, isn't it? Is that right? No, it's not. We're a lot higher than that. Yeah, well, so we're somewhere up here, I think. So the top end of that range there. So I think that level is just in here. Just mark that. A few 10 minutes or so. Nikkei's bounced quite a bit too, isn't it? So, just flushing. So that's why, I mean, really do think that just waiting for that Hang Seng to open, because these these indices, markets are in flush mode. I mean, that's kind of a weird move. Bouncing straight back, just flushed out the low, bounced straight back. Whether it's going to chop around here and we're going to lift. The Dow has been choppy basically since it's opened, since it's 10 o'clock open. Would it close at 7? Somewhere around here, I think it closed. It's been chopping around. The Hang Seng is just going to wait and see if the market can open. So it's going to gap, around that previous day's highs. So don't be surprised if the index, which it probably will, take out the previous day's highs. See somewhere around here, 54. So what was that? That was the open, and then boom, straight down, went sideways. So potentially going to open above that, and it could find it's going to roll again. A reversion to the mean style. Just watching the Dow here, and I've got the index. Are these charts clear when they're or clear enough at least? Or are they just too small? You have to squint a bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd figure these two would be the problem. They're just too small, aren't they? What I'll probably do is just get that, uh, get the index itself up in a sec. That better not go now. Still on Wall Street, Jace. Pop off that level there, so they know that's support. Still a bit of a chop fest here, so we've got 15. So it's going to be open. The index will be open soon. But it's going to hover here and then just get slammed. Let's wait and see. There's a Dow, right? Does it want to drag the market higher? The spy. It's the washing machine. All right, so the index is going to open in about a minute or so, just under. Let's get rid of some of these, eh? As it plays out, is that what I wanted? Here we go. Is this what you need next? Where are we? It's gapped up here, so it's a bit weaker than expected. Excuse me. I think we just focus on this one. So that's the index there. So the index itself is live. I've mentioned it a few times now, but so we're going to get a bit of a pullback, starting to not collapse as such, but into those lows. Here we go. Awesome. So it might have been a bit of a trap above these highs. The closing price, and that's going to go, isn't it? Dow seems to be holding okay, which is so reacting to that little push down on the Nikkei, the Hang Seng. So flushed into these lows. Let's just get rid of that. So it's opened up here, bounced down onto the overnight close, bounce back up, flush the high, down. So we want to see, can we get some sort of lower high, because we know that the index itself is pretty extended. Dow's still, well, roughly holding up. Good rejection on that candle. So just keep an eye on that one as well. Problem is that's decent rejection. It's kind of hard to sell into that. Only just opened. No, it's not that hard. Don't go, don't go. I don't like that, as a short setup anyway. It's kind of extended. Although that's off the MAs, the breakdown here, the way it's rejecting it though, it's kind of to be wiki like that and wiki like that on the 5 makes it a tough gig to go and sell when the 5s are quite extended because you sort of expect maybe some back and fill, and the Hang Seng can go like a rabbit, but that's not it. What am I looking for now? That. The Dow's holding those highs by the looks of it. Still looks like it wants to go down, doesn't it? Nice work, Alan. Speak to you later. Be wary that looks like it wants to pop up there, but the index would just bounce back a bit. Potentially still holding. You can see whether this is a good hard move down. We'll do a bit of back and fill, maybe pop up there. But it looks like it wants to hold the MAs down. It's just the 5 minute looks kind of stretched, overcooked. Just watching to see if it pops up through here. We might get a bit of a run up, kind of against the trend. So this 5 minute candle is going to finish in a minute. So we're going to flush that high at 35 and then I was thinking about long there, but I don't find that too strong. Don't really think that's a level that's in play actually. Hmm. So that we just popped. What have we popped on here? It's only 20 points. Decent rejection there, isn't it? Glad I was happy not to go short there. Maybe we're sticking to this move down. It's just that chop there you don't want to be involved in. The edges, you're right, Brooke. So I think the index has got, you said, it's got a level at that, like double bottom, but something like the candles 5 minute chart. You think if it breaks through there, it could gap fill 50, 60 points back into support. There's a chance we go through that low there, 18. Yeah, that's a horrible chart, really. Just close below it. So on the one, it's down. Um, 5, it's down, but there's no real signal here. So what I'm looking for, we've got a double top up here. Essentially, highs from the open, pull back, retest highs, fail. So I'm ideally looking for another further failure. Um, just not, looks like it's going to take off. Not take off. I shouldn't use those words, but so Dow's just popped. So who's following you now? So Canada's going to finish in a minute. It's sort of like, wouldn't expect it's going to, but so it's working off this high. 'Now, 'Cause, 'Now, 'Cause, 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 'C Still happy to go through, is it? Just got lunch. That's grinding back up. Where's Dow? Dow's getting back up into that zone, which so I'll take that out. It's just a bullish action. We've so there's an each way bet on the SPY at the moment. Bearish action just turns, boom, up this whole leg up here. It's cleaned out a lot of sellers in here. You see lower high, lower high, lower low, then pop. That would have been a tough one. I mean, I would have found it a tough one to trade. I'm sort of looking more at a pullback than just a couple of red candles for a point or two. Then we got this pop, wash out the height, straight down. So whether we're going to wash out this height and we're going to head down again, um, you don't know. So the SPY likes to sort of flush and go. It's flushed. Well, it's probably not going to flush now. It's just going to go back up again. Or is this a key high or low? You know, off this pullback, move back up to the highs. So now we're getting the actual index itself pushed up above those highs. So it's stretched up here. I'm not too keen on being a buyer. You know, stranger things happen. It could. Seeing if this candle finishes back down 10 or so points, which is not for a minute or two, 2 minutes. Back off at close below, we could get. Maybe it's just get ready to sweep some of those highs out. So this kind of action, this pullback is going to drag in some buyers. It's just whether that's too extended or they're happy to, everyone's happy to buy, charging these new highs. I'll keep it over here actually, which is it's this high, isn't it? It's basically that high in there, which corresponds to the high for the index. It's the inside level on the 1 minute here, which it has been respecting. So see it's getting knocked about a bit. I wonder whether it should be shorted into that. Just look for that to break higher, eh? It's a bit of a, we're up at these highs. I mean, that could be a level. It may not be a level. We just bounced off this MA. Um, in all essence, this one looks like it could go up, but the 5 is still, 20s below the 50, so it's really just edge play at the moment. And it looks like someone's playing that edge. You can see the way it's getting knocked down as well. They're not wanting it through that level, whether it's just going to pop and it's going to keep going. Yeah, okay. Could we play a 95 here? So this high, I think, corresponds to the index. So that high, it's about where it is now. So it's just swept the previous day's high on the index itself. So, it has got enough oomph to keep going. Yeah, it's broken up. Jace, are you still long that? Oh, mate, that's good. That's good. There's no weak hands in these markets. Getting 50 is pretty bloody strong. Dow's still going. You guys just following the Dow, and we're following the Dow as well. That looks pretty constructive, doesn't it? Hang Seng will probably be contrarian. So that's going to finish below. So I'm probably going to short it through here. Whoops. If I stop talking. It's a big rejection on that candle. So looking at this 5, if it goes down through this one, it's probably going to attack that low at 82, but it's still there. This is more, edge type of trade. We put through those highs. We finished low and short. So the one I don't think I want to pass back up near this high, 08. Well, I don't. I'd hate to see that. And I'm short. I just think that's the way that's rejected that high. You would want to see if we get some back and fill. The index is rejecting through those highs. It's just whether this, we want to pop through 82. Probably just got rejected on that. Below the MA, it's got to do some work, I think. I mean, I might have too tight a stop. It might bounce, stop me, and then go. I mean, who knows? I want to see that jam through that 83. No, it's holding it, holding it. Okay. It's wanting to hold that, isn't it? I can just work it through here. Love to see that double top and just break down through here, but so we can get some sort of expansionary candle down, finish back below here, would be nice. Spy, contrarian. Mm, don't want it above that candle, say the 10 mark. Just trying. Not the best short so far. Yeah, I'll be out in a second by the looks this ramping. No, you're right, mate. So one looks like it's sort of expanding up, yet the five looks like it's trying to hold these MAs for a run up as well. So it's kind of what is it going to give us some love? It's soaking up. That shouldn't really happen. I wouldn't expect this kind of thing. It shouldn't pop and then that's getting soaked up big time. So probably going to close it. Just want to give it some sort of opportunity. There we go. That looks bullish now, doesn't it? The five is opposite though. The five is not bullish. It's just still holding below that candle. I think I'm going to get stopped in a second. I've got to stop above there, but hold in for dear life. It's getting ramped. So that's not. It doesn't seem strong all week. It's just it's grinding up. It's just going to chop me. All right, being chopped. So that was still, for me, I find that a legitimate trade. It's just I was on the wrong side. Are we going to go up now? Because the way this has rejected it, we've got that high there, rejected that high, pushed below, went short, went nowhere. It's based off this one, spiked out, and then just popped straight back up. So, that short didn't last long, really. But just are these markets going to ramp up? I can't see the index. I probably shouldn't be sticking to these biases, but I can't see why the index would um, hold on. Still a ramping in progress by the looks of it. Still looks like it wants to go, doesn't it? Hmm. You're right, mate. That's not too convincing. It's kind of choppy still after that rejection. We could reject again. Stuck in a few, but this is high low we've got to compete with now. The index is pushing up. So we're going to fail here again, are we? So we'll see if this failing here again. It's still out. So that candle's going to finish in a minute and it's failed again, basically. It's doing the same thing, isn't it? So I'm sort of thinking, mate, that's rejecting up here. Some longs have to be squeezed soon. It's as if the index is still hanging up there. You've got the Dow's still hanging up there. Japan, everything just seems to be now starting to chug away up again. think the index has got a bit of a grind up. That's all. It's the biggest problem. Right, this kind of thing is just going to be smack, just sucking in some sellers, 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 and then pop. Of course, if it takes out this low, it's a different story, which I want to see that attacked. Still some very much a strong market. I think it's got some rejection up here on the 5. It's just not committed at all. That should run, you would think, but it's just not setting up really. It's just not doing much at all. You can argue that's a setup there, that sort of grind down, but there's still some sellers there. We're going to blast off now or what? You got the index just pushing through the highs, it's pushing through the previous highs as well. It's just whether this can get a bit of a run on, extend. There's going to be some resistance up here, 9.5. It's just Where's that from? It's the previous highs it's up against now, 56. There's no, it's just lacking conviction either side of the market. The bulls are tentative, the bears are tentative. Um, Makes you just not want to sit on the sidelines and just watch it for a bit. So this high, I do expect that to pop into that high. It's so close at 95. See if I can flush that level. I want to set up. Okay, there could be a very buy the breaker here, and then stop below. Right, I mean, whoops, probably a bit too quick. That's only because I'm just sort of expecting that expansion, and you're going to get a bit of a push in the high, a bit of a pause, and if it can kick on from here, should you see it expanding those highs. Even the Dow's struggling. No, I'll be out of that. Not risking too much in these trades at the moment. So the index has pushed into new highs. It's just it's obviously lagging the futures a lot. And that's not what I wanted. So you can see that's the previous high from yesterday. It's pushed through that high. Just want to see that hold through that high. But the futures are still, very tentative. It's just popping up now, but if it can continue on. So you can see, this is what I'm a big believer in algos. They sort of pop, drag in, and then they stop and flush out. Because any other day that sort of euphoria, you would expect it to pop into new highs, really charge a bit harder than that. But it's just not. It gets up the highs and stopping. I'm saying that. Here we go. Maybe not. Very much a That's what I reckon, mate. This is not your normal Hang Seng, is it? And it always not worries me, but you always see this sort of chop, but this sort of grind up with no real. I didn't really see an entry there, probably about where it got stopped out, which is would have been nice. Bit of a grind up into the high, couple of pullback just to flush people out. The trend is still up, so this I could easily get caught because I'm not seeing it spike higher, which you do expect, and I would expect um, a spike into that level because we're so close. I sort of feel like if it doesn't go, it's going to take out that level like this flush, hold the MAs and still go. So you continue to hold the trend up, yet it's not giving you anything out of it. And I could be on the right side 5 times and stopped out 5 times, if that makes sense. So the way it's just not kicking on doesn't leave me any confidence to sit around in this trade. If it can kick on from here and spike to 24, which we've got a that's more like what we want to see. Someone's still throwing some offers in, throwing some offers in. Wouldn't mind seeing it just blast through that 95 because we're just near this high here. You know there's going to be some stops above that, so I'm sort of looking at it going, well, I expect the market to push through. I expect it to take the stops if it wants to go. At the same time, on the flip side, you expect that it can race down on you. The can's going to finish soon. Just see if I can retrace a bit, isn't it? So you couldn't. I reckon, mate. I reckon I've been bullied today. I got stopped to the tick on the right side of the market. The trade before didn't work out. I'll was it? I'll pack the sads. I'll turn off and then she'll go. Well, there'll be a really nice setup. At the moment, it's just whoops. It's a day like today. I don't want to hang around waiting for that spike either. What's happened to the spy? Has it popped? Oh god. What's the deal with the spy? So this grind high, that's not. I wouldn't think. And then the way it's just dumped on it, that sort of positivity, and then it turns on a dime and dumps, drags in some sellers, pop, grind the way back up. So I find that super hard action to trade. I'm not getting any of my typical areas where, even in here, if I thought I was going to sell, I think I did. I got stopped on that as well. It's just getting on the right side and holding it is super hard at the moment. I mean, look at that, chop, chop, chop. It could head sideways, and then if it's not going to go up, it'll probably flush everyone out, and then run. That's the kind of action. Yeah, it's flippy. Yeah. Where's the candle going to finish at? Why? Oh, on a half an hour candle. No wonder that looks like it's not moving. It wasn't the world's best, was it? Feeler with these, it'll do something like this. Spike, take out a few candles and then pop. I want that to rush up. Reject that and it'll be nice. We take out that high. Go 70. So cheering for the horses. But neither of them will listen. The horses, all the things saying. So we're finishing, well, it's probably a bit too early. But hopefully we can finish green on this candle. And we get something on that upside. There's my limit chart on. There we go. Can you continue? That's the big question. All right. Was that the pump we're expecting? Hmm. It's not nice, is it? So once you get these candles finishing, a lot of the time it's flush, but it really needs to hold above this level. I've got my stop just below here. I want to give it some room, which means I'm going to lose a few points, but got to try to get some room. The trend is up. I know it's in resistance, but it's an absolute chop fest. I've never seen that Hang Seng grinding like this. I've seen some excitement. It's just I'll just see the futures volume with what volumes are going through. How are you going on your index, Brooke? Oh, 61. Where was it? This is the futures. I don't know if it's got up. God, that's gone down a bit, hasn't it? See how that's just headed south when the Hang Seng's been going up, and the Dow's doing nothing. It's a weird market. So what do we time? It closes at 3, so we've still got a bit to go. So hopefully this gets a bit of a run on, just grinds up. I want to see it up to 150. That would be nice, but you know, it's whether I can hold it there, which is yeah, okay. Don't want to see that reverse off that candle. Do not want to see it through 41. Really, just that candle low, which is probably going to do it, isn't it? It's getting heavy up here, which you would expect with everything stretched. Can they fight back? Ramp it up. Come on. Mm, no, I think this is going to come down, to be honest. So I close that out. Probably preemptive, but yeah, I would have been tagged. I'd go actually. So I closed that out. Booked a little gain. Um, but I'm not confident with this now, especially after this resistance zone. I mean, I could be doing the wrong thing, obviously, but to see that sort of push up there and you get this kind of action, really, if that was going to be a nice grind higher, this pullback rally, we shouldn't be pulling back. You really don't want to see it pull back there. So even though he stops under there, I don't feel that's the best thing because we could get a roll. You know, if we set up again, I still don't think we're going to blast high. If you go and look at the actual index itself, look at that index, just chugga, chugga, chug. It looks like it could be starting to get it, first sort of signs of maybe get some sellers in there, but you've got an hour and a half of the session to go. Well, it's just super, super frustrating. C'est la vie, is that the word? So I'm sort of looking for this. I think it's going to come off its highs now. There you go. So I would have been stopped out. Right thing to do at the moment, but that's not your typical action. What we're seeing here is really not your typical action, which should that's a bit of a grind higher. So even that's what I would normally have expected. Some sort of outside in. when the market's extended, like it was yesterday, extended, and then it's had a big fall off the high. Maybe it was just way too extended on the open. Whereas today we sort of pulled back to the MAs again on the index and just grinded higher. Um, so whether that can continue, look, it could do. I'm just not a big believer that it will, especially considering that action. You can see the sellers keep chipping it lower. If this is all one-way action, you should see a spike. You should see some not what was it got here? Not this sort of pop through the high, like you took out this high and then straight back down again to flush. It's taking out levels. So if you're looking at this like we are intraday trading, um, yeah. So we get this weakness straight off the bat. Was that an open? No, the open was 12.15. So you got this little lower high weakness come in, started to lift. So it's just from there you're trying to decide whether you should be short, long, whatever, and it started to pick up. I didn't take that long, which I was talking about, which probably would have been a tough kick. I mean, it did kick on, but this little spike would have been good. But you against the MAs, I don't like being sort of trying to set that rule. Be with the MAs, be with the MAs. It's just there's once we got up through here, then we started getting with the MAs, and it was only really this long, wasn't it? Short in here, which is probably no, it was short in here, wasn't it? And spiked out. I can't remember what I did now. There's another short. Was I short in here? Got chopped out. Yep, got chopped out here as well. Got long, and that didn't go anywhere either. So it's kind of both sides of the market is not going. This one could have been good, but if you were holding this in here all the way up, say like from that entry, which is essentially I think about where we got in. I got in at 15, no 25. So was it this candle? Was it on this candle? Had that pullback, didn't really go. Then we got this lift, which is good, and it's back down again. So the stop was just above, well, just below here. It would have been, I think I had about 5 to 10 below this low. I'd like to give it a couple of points if it's going to flush, like say 2 or 3 points, it's going to flush, and then a couple more on top of that, which would have got nabbed anyway. So better lock in the gains. So yeah, if we sort of got this, once it spiked up here and we got through these highs, we're doing the same thing here. We flushed up through that high, come down. So we triggered some buys, and that's a good trap. I like that kind of a trap. I like that kind of a setup, and see if it can go down. But instead, you'll see on the one anyway, it rolled over. I think I was basically, was I short here? Was I short off this one? I don't remember now. I think I was short off this high, wasn't I? And it was going okay for a little bit, but then did nothing, which it shouldn't do. You shouldn't see if your market is going to be biased one way or the other, as in if that's going to work out, we shouldn't get this sort of chop lower. Same here, we just popped up through those highs. We shouldn't get that chop lower. And the way it was getting bought up, you go, okay, maybe I should be on the long side. Okay, think about some longs. Did something stupid here, I guess. Then got with it, and then you get this kind of retracement, which again, a stronger market, you shouldn't. I don't think we should be doing that. We shouldn't be just coming off that high grind, and it's not really a spike lower, which you can go, okay, um, maybe it's going to be rangy. We're going to start to pop down off this high, but instead we're grinding. So there's a chance that we're just on the index, we're just grinding back to the MAs. We're going to start to lift again. So either way, I'm really got biased either way at this stage. You can see the index is just pushing lower. Again, with this kind of move, um, if it was strong, you should be holding up at these highs. Or you should find some buys instead, which is going all the way down, all the way back up, where it could do. So there's no real setup on the 5. It's just a bit of a, rinsing people in and out of the market. So we'll see how we go. So now that on the one's down, the 5, it's technically 5 is still up. You want it sort of back above the MA. So just changing. So I've been playing around with this quite a bit lately. See if it actually helps with those entries. So it's falling in a bit of a heap now, isn't it? Yeah, not sure whether I think that the Nikkei's got Nikkei. I think the Hang Seng bullies around the Nikkei more than anything, and I think the Nikkei will watch the Dow quite a bit. The Dow's probably one that's that's tipped over. It could be just dragging a bit of weakness. And if you're watching, if you're trading the Hang Seng, you're up here, up near resistance, up near this zone, and you're holding on to some gains. Um, and then you start seeing the day out. The Dow's going sideways where you're edging higher. I don't think you'd want to be long for or hold for too much longer, would you? I'm going to just set that 1 minute. What am I trying to find? I'm trying to find that there. There we go. See, that was a bit of a setup there. It's pulled back, touched, pop straight down again. There's no real shoulder to work off there. So now we're going to get something on the upside. Just bounce off these MAs, retest that high. Probably not when the old Dow is swinging around. So why is that just tipped over? So now it's still down 7 points. So gold's up, emerging's up, energy's up again, which is a couple of days. We'll see how that goes. Financials down slightly. Doesn't look too bad there to be down one. Just the financials are really dragging on it. So we've got 2:30, another 45 minutes till RBA comes out. Now, another thing, there's quite a few well, the RBA is at 230, and I think later on, for whatever reason, every reserve bank is starting to pop up with they're all saying something today. So we're now Tuesday. Cash rate, RBA, budget. Oh, they put it out at 7:30. So that time's only fresh. It's new. ECB president at 7:35. CAD, you got this trade balance. You got Lagarde speaks again for whatever reason at 12. So don't know. I don't know. I've never really seen that before. 5 hours later, speaking, whether it's at two different areas, but we don't know. Fed chairs at 1:40. I don't know what that comment is. And then you got later on a Fed FOMC member, uh, Kaplan and Harker are speaking. So why are they not sure why they want to be? They're all. It just seems to be that they're all trying to buoy the market a bit. Everything's rosy. We're all good. You see that stuff a lot, quite a bit anyway. Um, Forget the Aussie. Where's Nico's here? Hang Seng, sorry. Oh, where's my 1 minute chart? There we go. Just keep an eye on this to see if it can scoop up, which I've just gone long, which is after this pullback, which is starting to hold off this low. Are we going to continue that bullish sentiment into the close, which is another hour away? I mean, it could bit of a pullback. We'll see if I'll see if we do. It's going to be probably another green candle on the 5. So some way doing something a bit silly and going to get squeezed. This looks like it's a bit of a grind up, which it could easily do, and then just pop. MAs are starting to roll, so I'm a bit concerned. I'm not going to obviously give it too much room. The Dow's just starting to kick up again. Nikkei is just, I think it's just starting to kick up again. Starting to lift. SPY, who knows? There we go. So see if we can get some sort of pop. So it's a big, the thing is a big move down. It's whether because the index is still up. The index is up 182 points. So it's been see if we can get back to 24 or back up to these highs, which now we get that grind. You actually get going. I hate grindy markets. So when they're flat, this is the problem here. They're flat through here. The MAs on the 5. At least from the open, it's been swinging above. If we can bounce off it and lift back up into these highs into the close, great. That would be nice to have a positive a good move and we got on the right side of it. At least something that's going to kick up a bit. So it needs to hold here. If we start again pushing below, 3, I'll probably be out. Actually, I will be out. So when the stop is. Just need to see how it's just tests the MA. It needs to lift. It is every time it's popping as a seller, it's getting some selling in. So whether the index one has have a deeper pullback, yeah, could do. And more often than not, people biased up with that kind of a pullback. Like me, I thought this nice little entry is worth a shot off this support. So that's 5 minutes probably better to see. You've got inside level, which is in here. Problem is you're down, you're sort of squeezing on the 5, squeezing prices in lower. Just as it squeezed enough, looking at the 1, could do. Just needs to hold here. It needs to kick up. It's whether it wants to or not. There you go. I feel that's a stop out in a second. That's a good flush. So it just, I think the MA's crossed. So you got the algo's MA's crossed. That's it. Sell. See, they're trying to push it. Someone's there. Yeah, that'll be done. That's it. I'm out. So we've taken that high. Don't be surprised if we take out that low now. Take it out and continue would be nice, but take it out and stop. So we've got a lower high in play here. We've got this or lower high in play here. So you're sort of looking for maybe it could roll down, but we'll see. It's worth just sitting and watching, isn't it? So now you can see this 5 minute level here. We're just sitting on top of it. So that could be a flush of that low. We'd want to see it through there. I think coming off that high, there's enough juice on the long side to squeeze a lot lower. Sort of ranging from that high to low. So it moves down, it's just getting soaked up as well. There's no lack of follow through up here. Very, very rangy. I think everyone's just waiting for the US stimulus. Keep kicking that can down the road. See if that 5 slams through there. Oh, how did that happen? One. So it could be a short here. It's just yeah, we're doing the same thing as we did above and below, chopping, chopping, popped up. It's thrusted straight back down. It's just gone through the lows, gone through this low, and it's popped up. Yeah, it's not going anywhere, is it? It'd be interesting to see if we can actually break down and looks like it wants to attack those shorts. Sorry, the longs. It's getting knocked down, but you see it keep going up, donk, and then just stop. Yeah, up, donk. I actually have a short on this, Jay, so I actually traded it. It's up here. So when I got out of one, I jumped in, so I just doubled up, not short. I figure if that's going to hold, we get an extension down, but now I'm not even confident of that. So I'll probably be out of this. Covered that previous loss. Still, you can see it's wicky here and it's wicky. We've got through that low. You would think we get more oomph. Whoops. God, it's really jumpy. My computer's struggling to process everything. Right, so what I might do is just people on trading view. I'll say goodbye. Actually, there's still a few on there. We'll just so that rejection there, I'd expect it to keep going down. It's not what I'm used to on the Hang Seng. I don't like it. Well, still heading. We'll see. So trading view, I might just finish it up. We'll see how we go. Let's just give it a bit of time. Still doing nothing. I can't even get a few points on it. It's only up about 90, just under 30 points, and it's still just doing absolutely zero. That chopped down. I think it's going to reverse. So I'll take that. Took that little gain down there. It's just that's not your usual Hang Seng. So that'll be it. I think you're right, mate. Real grind, popcorn. So you're not getting any moves. I think you got a lot to think to the US. Thank God I just got out of that. There we go. So it would have been straight back to entry. Well, nearly. Um, yeah, I think you got the US to thank for that. The way everything is at the moment, everyone's just lingering, waiting for stimulus. I can guarantee if this market starts coming down, that deal will be done overnight. Um, with the Democrats and Republicans, they both need a deal because it's such a political event coming into elections. You don't imagine the team that doesn't said they don't want to do stimulus. That's not going to go down very well. So I think they both, Trump wants it as much as it was Pelosi or whatever, or the Democrats want it just as much as um, the Republicans, because, like I said, there's a lot riding on it politically coming to the elections. So imagine they don't want to say, I'm not going to do that. I mean, there's no way in the world Trump will say no. He's always going to say he's not quite, they're not getting there yet. We're not getting there yet. They're not coming to the table. There's no need for that, but I'm willing to come to the bargain because I'm a good guy. That's basically his been. It's the same sort of thing he did through, what do you call it, negotiations with China. Just mucking around and then pulling the pin, then coming back. Making himself look good by not doing a lot. And he did eventually do something there, whether it's been adhered to or not, it's a different story. But I think with this more stimulus, I don't necessarily think he wants it. To be honest, I think his view was, and it has been a while ago, was you give more stimulus, less people come back to work. We don't get our economy up and running. We're just paying for people to stay on holiday, essentially, which is happening. Why would you go back to work for a few bucks extra when you have to work 40 hours? Um, and that's probably maybe his view. So there's a lot that he's sitting there thinking, no, we're not going to agree on that. Whereas Democrats want to look good because they want to say, we're going to give you everything, so vote for us. We're not the ones. We're willing to give you a lot of money. So, and I think Trump realised that to some extent. So yeah, but either way, this market, the whole of the market globally is addicted to stimulus at the moment. Um, it doesn't mean it just sort of means that you don't have what do you call it? I think highly functioning market. I mean, I know that the ASX is going up, US is going up, but both are extended, overvalued. The US as well, it's really overvalued a lot of their shares, and they're coming into earnings as well. So, they would have come out and said we're going to get nothing, and as long as they beat their expectations, they're not getting sold into expectations, but they're going to get bought up if they beat expectations, just because the nature of the market at the moment is yeah, positive, very, very, very bullish, if you ask me. So no one's really to dive in short um, to sell. You do if you're constantly doing it, you're going to get chopped to the hoop, but you could make some money occasionally as long as you can hold. So the biggest problem is if like now, if you're constantly shorting in here and you get chopped, you might short it, you short it. Okay, it's paid off, but has it paid off enough to the stops? Once it comes down, if you get chopped out here, make back some of the losses, then it keeps going. That's kind of the thing that's at the moment. Market's a whippy. So not a normal functioning market. I don't think this is not a normal functioning Hang Seng. Where was the entry? 12:30. So that's the. Let me just mark that up. Okay, so that's the day session. Big flush lower, and we've been grinding since then. Now that I was talking about along there, didn't take it, which is in hindsight was the dumbest thing of the day.